We're going to make a Christmas movie tier list. Christmas is coming up. Maybe you've started some shopping. I know I have. There was an Amazon sale. I picked up some cool stuff. First movie we're going to look at is A Christmas Carol, the Jim Carrey one. I've heard this movie is fantastic. I've never seen it, but just based off of word of mouth, I'll easily put it on good tier. A Christmas Story, solid. People really love it. I don't put it as like S tier like most people would. It just never really hit as hard as certain other ones for me. Absolutely nothing wrong with it, of course. It just isn't my bag. Charlie Brown Christmas. I'll leave it up there in great. Arthur Christmas I have not seen. I've heard some good things. I'll put it in bad. I didn't set up these rankings on the side, but let's just call it bad. No offense to it. I haven't even seen it, but I've heard a lot of good things about A Christmas Carol, so I feel like I can't put it higher than that, but at the same time, Bad Santa, pretty good. I think S tier, no question about it. Dark comedy really kind of throws a curveball in what a Christmas movie is. Let's go right to Elf. This will be controversial because people will say that this is the best Christmas movie ever. I don't think it is. I think it's awesome. Maybe it's even S tier, but it's kind of just a Will Ferrell vehicle. I mean, you put Will Ferrell in anything, he's probably going to carry a comedy movie to being pretty good. It just doesn't do that little bit extra that I think elevates it to that level. I mean, it's fun for the whole family. It's probably an overall better movie than Bad Santa. Actually, I'll put it in S tier. I think maybe that's fair. We'll have to think about it a little bit more a little bit later. Eloise. I'm just going to put, I guess there's a never watched here. I may as well just throw things in that. Four Christmases. Solid rom-com. Mostly just a comedy movie, really. Vince Vaughn, Reese Witherspoon. They're a couple. They go to different individual Christmases. Like their parents each have their own Christmas party. Pretty good, actually. Definitely gives you that kind of real vibe. Whereas like Bad Santa gives you that realistic portrayal of like a real scumbag in like his perception of Christmas, and it does a lot within that. I feel like Four Christmases just does a lot of that realistic, like normal people realistic Christmas movie. It's really quite sweet. Frosty the Snowman, an absolute classic, but I mean, I've just seen it so many times, heard the music so many times. I find it quite repetitive at this point. It just there isn't that much meat on the bone for me. I think I gotta put it at low grade tier. Gremlins. I'm not gonna place Gremlins yet. I'll save that for later on. Home Alone 2. Both awesome. I like them both more than A Christmas Story. I mean, is it fair to rank them higher though just because I like them more than A Christmas Story? I think it is. Maybe not, actually. I mean, I like these movies about the same, but Christmas Story has more Christmas elements. It's more of a Christmas movie. The Grinch. First we'll rank the Jim Carrey one. Very solid Grinch story. They added elements that worked. The live action of it all worked quite well. Cool practical effects. And Jim Carrey just does a fantastic job. I think top of great tier, and I think the animated one is just even better. S tier, definitely above Elf. Honestly, above all of these, it's just short. It's sweet. It's that old, almost like short film. You could literally call some of these old Christmas movies short films, like Charlie Brown Christmas, Frosty the Snowman, certain iterations of A Christmas Carol. Like some of these are actually these cartoons, especially, are really quick. They're basically short films, and they're some of the greatest short films ever made. Honestly, like How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the animated one, it does so many things right. Like the music is just fantastic. The story is great. Hard to have any complaints about it at all. It's a Wonderful Life. I'll put it there. Jingle All the Way. Very Christmassy. Fun movie. I like. I can't put it above Frosty the Snowman though. Love Actually. I've probably seen this movie, but I don't remember it. So I got to put it in never watched, even though I probably have watched it. Miracle on 34th Street, classic Christmas movie. There's two different versions of it. I probably haven't seen this version. Mixed Nuts, I haven't seen, but Steve Martin's great. So it's probably a cool movie. Probably the go to haven't seen movie, just based off of Steve Martin being really funny. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Super quotable, just like A Christmas Story. It's funny. It's kind of like the iconic of the vacation movies. It's the one everybody quotes, everybody talks about. Granted, Christmas kind of prompts you to talk about these types of things, but I've seen it brought up plenty of times outside of Christmas discussions and Christmas, and it being the time of year for Christmas. I think low S tier. I'd put it above Elf though, like no question for me. Again, I like Elf, but it's just not the absolute tippy top, and I know that's like blasphemy for a lot of people. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, a Steve Martin movie that is pretty awesome. He's trying to travel for Christmas, and it's very, very difficult. Super relatable to anybody who's been an adult and has had been in situations that just suck, and like making the best of it and adapting. It's really cool. Definitely underrated, like not talked about enough. It doesn't really have the Christmas elements. Like, even though that's like a plot point and what drives the movie, it kind of doesn't have to be. It could very easily not be a Christmas movie. So I think I gotta put it like low S tier. The Polar Express I've never seen. Another movie that I need to. Rudolph, the stop motion animation, the iconic one. There's other Rudolph properties that are pretty cool. Like there's an older cartoon or an animated one that I like more than this stop motion one, but the stop motion one it's legendary, right? There's no question about it. Like people quote it to this day. Again, outside of the context of Christmas. So that just goes to show how epic it is. Scrooge is pretty good. I'll put it above this. I'm just gonna put this in haven't seen. Like, I may as well. Scrooge, quite good. I've just never seen it around Christmas time, and maybe if I rewatched it, it would rank higher. But A Medea Christmas, have not seen. To Grandmother's House We Go. I've heard mention of the title, Mary Kate and Ashley. I just have not seen it. Maybe I should. Ooh, Christmas Chronicles. seen this one I think last year, and it was actually pretty good. I was surprised that there's like a Christmas movie that is decent, that was like quite watchable. Like, I love Christmas. I love Christmas music. I love watching these movies. I don't ever see there being a Christmas that goes by where I'm not watching at least like four Christmas movies. I checked this one out on Netflix, and it was pretty good. Like, it's very solid. You think there'd be more word of mouth being like, hey, you and your family might be watching a Christmas movie. Check this one out, so you're not watching like Frosty the Snowman for the 80th time. Like, I feel like there's genuinely like a market for it. There's a demand for it that the supply is not meeting. And the Christmas Chronicles does that. Is it S tier? No, I don't think it is, but I like it a lot. I think Frosty the Snowman beats it out just based off of like reputation and being iconic. I'm up with Muppets Christmas Carol. I have not seen this one in forever, but it is good. It's been too long. It's been way too long. The Man Who Invented Christmas looks like a Christmas Carol movie. Haven't seen it. I'm hoping that on this list there is a version of a Christmas Carol that I find very good and should be represented. The Nightmare Before Christmas. I find it to be more of a Halloween movie than a Christmas movie. Like, having this hybrid is really cool. And also, again, it kind of meets that demand for both of those types of movies. Granted, there's infinitely more Halloween movies than there are Christmas movies, but so I guess that makes this film lean more towards Christmas than it does Halloween. But it kind of muddies the water. I would definitely put it, I think, just below the Jim Carrey Grinch. The Jim Carrey Grinch simply does like everything right. And not to say that the Nightmare Before Christmas doesn't. It just doesn't reach that level in my mind. The Santa Claus, good. Like, solid. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but there's nothing wrong with it. Call Me Claus, never seen. Trading Places, good. Doesn't give me enough of the Christmas vibes that I really want out of a Christmas movie. Christmas with the Cranks. It's good. Santa Claus 2, it's okay. Man, there's a lot of Tim Allen Christmas stuff. The third one, if I remember correctly, the third one gets weird. Nothing wrong with that. It's just bizarre. Ooh, Eight Crazy Nights. Eight Crazy Nights is really cool. It's kind of a Hanukkah movie and a Christmas movie, but it is iconic to people who have seen it. Like, it kind of has like a cult following, you could say. It never really gets talked about anymore, but I would love to rewatch this movie, right? You got the little old guy saying technical foul. It's really quite good. I haven't seen it really since I was like maybe a teenager, rewatching it a few years after watching it as a kid. But if it holds up to what I remember, then it's actually ranking quite high. Ooh, Fred Claus. I might have seen it, but I don't know if I watched it start to finish. Home Alone, the other sequels. I actually like Home Alone 3, but it's flawed, it's repetitive, like it doesn't do anything new. I haven't seen the fourth one. Jack Frost. Unfortunately, this isn't the horror one that came before this. There's a Jack Frost movie that came before this where it's not for kids, not for kids at all. So when I saw this, I was like, "What? He's not going around knifing people? That's unfortunate." But really, really sweet movie. It has a nice heart. I'll put it top of good. This Grinch I've never seen. I've got no reason to watch a CGI Grinch. I'm sure it's good. There's no reason for it to be bad. I'm just probably never going to watch it unless someone else is watching it and I just am there, or maybe I'm in a mood for the Grinch and I just, for some reason, don't want to watch the two amazing Grinch movies that are available to watch, you know? For some reason, it's like these two, like, amazing, amazing movies. I just don't want to watch them this time. I'll give this other one a chance. Like, it's just so unlikely. Like, you have to be hardcore into Christmas movies to watch the CGI Grinch. Just Friends. And it just kind of takes place in Christmas. Like, it's not nearly enough of a Christmas movie. Christmas is just an excuse to have these characters reunite. It's just not a Christmas movie. I gotta put it in horrible. It's a good movie. Like, you want to watch a movie with your partner, it's pretty good. Like, it's a solid, like, rom-com type movie. But in terms of a Christmas movie, like, why is it even on here? Like, whatever. Last Holiday, never seen. Noel, never seen. The Preacher's Wife. Office Christmas Party, I've definitely seen. Alright, let's start placing some of these. Unaccompanied Minors. Definitely Christmassy. Kids stuck in an airport during Christmas. Definitely above Jingle All the Way. Solidly in great tier, but just not ranking that high. Again, people will probably think I'm insane for putting Jingle All the Way in great tier, as though it's a great Christmas movie. But in so many ways it is. Like, it's so Christmassy and like has that Christmas character arc, but it takes its time with it. It has comic relief. It's interesting. Like, it builds kind of this like fictional world with this superhero and the toy, and like it's just cool. Santa Buddies I haven't seen. Santa Claus is Coming to Town, I remember like never watching it start to finish, kind of thinking like it's the discount Rudolph. Like, they're like, let's do this again, and it just wasn't as good, and it's gonna always, in my mind, be diminished because of that. That knocks it down a peg. Like, if Rudolph didn't exist and Santa Claus is Coming to Town, would probably be like maybe a mid A tier, but it can't be because it's not as good as Rudolph. It just isn't. Santa with Muscles, nope. SpongeBob Christmas, nope. No, I would definitely watch SpongeBob Christmas. Office Christmas Party. I forget if I've seen it, so I'm gonna say that I haven't. 'Twas the Night, it does not look familiar. Why Him, I haven't seen. The Ultimate Christmas Present, nope. So let's talk about Ernest Saves Christmas. Ernest, who has had many adventures in film form. Solid children's entertainer. Movies are movies are good. I think I'd put this above Elf. Give me Jim Varney over Will Ferrell. Not every day of the week, but some of the days of the week, and especially on Christmas. The Night Before. Now, I assume most people, first off, watch The Night Before if you haven't seen it. It's got Anthony Mackie, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Seth Rogen. If you have not seen this Christmas movie, you need to go see this. Alright, spoiler alert for The Night Before. I went into this movie expecting it to just be a like random comedy that I'm going to go see. I saw it in theaters. I thought, oh, this is just a random comedy. I like these guys enough. Like, I forget if I even saw the movie like with somebody or not, but it's like, alright, this looks okay. Let's go see this. I had no expectations. I was expecting just like almost not a Christmas movie. But then I'm watching it and I'm starting to pick up on what it's doing, and what it does is it's a Christmas Carol. And like it's being very sneaky about it. And Michael Shannon is like the ghost. And he keeps showing up and it's like, "Oh my god, it's Michael Shannon. This is awesome." And it's like, "Oh my god, this is a Christmas Carol." Like they pulled a fast one and told you know, a story of a Christmas Carol that's been told many times, but in a totally different way. Really cool that they did that. Yeah, it was just excellent, honestly. Now I don't know if it would be as awesome to watch on like a rewatch, but I think it would. I think it would hold up. I'll put it right up here with Eight Crazy Nights as like awesome Christmas movies that should and likely do hold up and are great and are some of the best, honestly. All right, Gremlins. Not really a Christmas movie. It happens on Christmas, and that comes into play into some of the elements, but not that much. Um, I think I'd have to put it high bad because of that, because it just is not a Christmas movie. You're never gonna convince me that Gremlins is a Christmas movie. Like just because Christmas is happening in proximity, just because it affects tiny like beats of the plot, that doesn't make it a Christmas movie. It's just a movie where Christmas happens to be there. Like if you can write Christmas out of the movie in 10 minutes of adjusting the script, then it's not a Christmas movie, you know? Like, and that goes especially hard for this next one, the last one we're going to talk about, and that's Die Hard. Die Hard is way less of a Christmas movie than Gremlins or Just Friends. It's so arbitrary. It's just, there just happens to be, that's the reason that these characters are in the same building. Like, it's so unnecessary and meaningless to anything. Like, the movie is just an action fest. And that's fine, right? It's like we developed this cool villain for an action film villain, you know, as much as you can. Really cool villain, really cool hero. They go against each other, right? And that's the movie. It's an action fest, and it's awesome for that. For just an action movie, Die Hard's one of the best. Like, in terms of pure action, absolutely fantastic, but it is not a Christmas movie. Christmas is hardly there. Like, if they didn't mention Christmas, it wouldn't make a difference. Like, it's so meaningless. Like, You could literally just say that it's any holiday, and it changes nothing. Like, it just isn't a Christmas movie. It has to go in trash tier. Don't call this a Christmas movie. Don't put this on lists of Christmas movie. You're goofy and you're wrong. Die Hard, trash tier. Get over it. It's done. Not a Christmas movie. Period.